What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the team that I'm going to crown as my best team of the Color Cup. I promise y'all I haven't been holding out on you. It literally just took me this long to figure out the team that was able to break through some of the nasty RPS of this Color Cup, and that's just inherently how this cup is. It's a terrible meta that is basically just rock, paper, scissors with electric types thrown in. But to play this team out, what we've got here in the lead is we've got Unovan Stunfisk. This thing is a Pokemon that is the electric type. It's able to do a very, very well against things that are not grass or ground type. And we have in the back two things that are good against both of those. Now, Shadow Abomasnow is my closer of choice. I have seen this team. I did not create this team. I actually saw some opponents using this team and found out that it was one of my friends who made the team before a streamer took it and made it popular when they hit Legend with it. So team is tried and true and proven and well and does well. You don't need a Shadow Abomasnow if you don't want to use one or don't have one. Regular Abomasnow works fine, and honestly, I probably think it might actually be better than the Shadow. But as our safe switch, we're using a double legacy Dugong. I just love Dugong, and I feel like it has really good play into this meta, as ice ground coverage is really strong overall in general when you're not facing something like Golisopod or Araquanid, which are very few and far between. But that being said, we'll go ahead and jump into these games here because we did have a very nice run on stream with this team. If you guys want to check out all the games, we do have the full whole shebang on the Saturday stream. We see a Golem in the lead here, and that's an incredibly good lead, and the opponent comes in with a safe switch Jumpluff. Now, when you're playing against a Jumpluff with the Abomasnow, you definitely just go in, you come in with Abomasnow and throw as soon as you can, and if you throw before they do and they go up to, I believe it's 7 Fairy Winds, I believe, is the acrobatics. Could be 8, but basically if they throw right away on 5, you can always live one. Acrobatics, not so much. Now, because I have so much energy here, I can fake an energy ball, but the nice thing in this matchup is that ice also does neutral to rock. So I could have thrown a second move there, but I wanted to really go for the energy ball if I could get there. My opponent has an Amoonguss in the back. This is pretty okay because of the fact that we have our ice type damage here on the Dugong, and the opponent basically has Astonish, which is, they're going to require 2 Grass Knots no matter what to knock out, and the Astonishes don't do nearly as much as our Icy Winds, or Ice Shards, I should say, are doing to them. So they're forced to shield up here, and I can do one of two things here. I can either just go for the farm down, or I can just take this thing out. Either way is fine, but the opponent swaps immediately into the Golem and complicates things a little bit. The one thing that I do want to mention, when you have a lead like this Alolan Golem into a Ufisk, it doesn't matter if you have to give up shields or what you need to do in order to get switch advantage, because you don't need shields to beat this Golem. There's no damage that it can put to Unovan Stunfisk that would threaten it. So do whatever you need to do to maintain switch advantage, and then just be cautious of the switch timer whenever you can. I overfarm by quite a bit because I want to make sure that I can get to a Mud Bomb against the Amoonguss when it's in the back. Opponent goes down, and we're going to be able to get to this Mud Bomb. If it's enough, we're going to win the game. I don't know how close they were to a Grass Knot, but I don't think we would get knocked out by one from that range anyway, but we take it out, and that's a good first game. Climbed up to the 2850 range with this team. It did super well. We see a Whimsicott in the lead in the next game. We're going to go straight to Dugong, as we will with anything that's grass or ground, and then Morpeko swaps in here. That's a little bit of a problem for us. Now, thankfully, the opponent overfarms. If they throw the Aura Wheel right away, that kind of just deletes Dugong, so them throwing here to give us a shield right away is really nice. We're also able to lower their attack. I'm going to let this go. It doesn't matter if I shield or not. I'm losing this matchup, so I would rather force them to throw energy at my Unovan Stunfisk, and I can potentially shield one time, and I should be able to get to a Mud Bomb. Now, I'm going to let this first one go here. Opponent does have the Psychic Fangs for some reason. I thought they were going to throw, like in that situation, you definitely want to go for the Dark-type Aura Wheel instead of going for Psychic Fangs, because I never have to shield when the opponent is in full belly mode, only when they're in this hangry mode here. And so I can just go for Mud Bomb, and they gave me a lot more energy than I probably needed. Just going for just full send Aura Wheel. Don't bait with Psychic Fangs. We're up a shield. The opponent has a Unovan Stunfisk of their own in the back, and we just take it due to sheer RPS. Good game to the opponent. So what I love about Abomasnow is there's a lot of teams that just do not respect it. So in the next game, we have Lavani in the lead. Opponent is taking heavy damage, so they're going to swap out instead of staying in. This allows us, because of the 2 Shadow Claws that they threw, allows us to be able... Actually, it was 3. This allows us to be able to get to 3 or 4. I don't, man, this is so fast. Lead me. We're able to draw out the Morpeko that's sitting in the back, and Levani is pretty squishy, but it does really kind of destroy Unova and Stunfisk. So all I'm going to do at this point is take the shield advantage and just hope that my Abomasnow can clean up in the back. If the opponent is good against Abomasnow in the back, for example, if they have something else like a Talonflame or something of the sort, then I'm just going to lose this game. And that's what I'm talking about with this cup, right? Because it's all fire, water, and grass types with electrics thrown in, it's literally just the most insane rock, paper, scissors. Like, you lose based on typing matchups and pretty much nothing else. The opponent here decides to surrender, so I'm going to have to assume that they were weak in the back to Abomasnow, but once again, just saying, like, you just put it into Abomasnow and hope it can sweep, and that's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta go with. Good game. Really nice lead in the next game here. We're going to have Toxapex in the opponent's lead here, and they're going to swap into an Among Us, and I'm going to go straight to my Abomasnow. Now, the thing that I need to do here is throw right away, and I don't, and that's a problem, because now the opponent can leave this matchup with shield advantage, whereas I mean, even if they no-shield the Weather Ball, they'll live it, but at least if I can make them want to shield first, it helps. Now, opponent's going to go down here. We have quite a bit of energy, and we're only going to really be able to go for an energy ball. I need to try and get to a second one if I can, but that's just going to come down to whether or not I can get enough energy. Now, the opponent, even though they have super effective damage in Brine, it doesn't do that much to Unova and Stunfisk. It can cleanly eat at least 2 brines, so I'm not worried about giving them a farm down on Abomasnow here. I'm more worried about what's going to be in the back. So the opponent's going to throw this brine, soften up my Unova and Stunfisk by a little bit, and then we're just going to go ahead and see what they come in with here. They're going to have the Decidueye in back with a shield. Hopefully we can make some magic happen here. I would imagine that, because I don't know the counts for Astonish, even though I've played Decidueye a couple times, my opponent baits me with a Spirit Shackle here, which makes me feel kind of bad. I'm going to go for the Icy Wind here before they're going to be able to get to another move, and at this point, I mean, the shield was basically, my end game goal here is to get this Decidueye to a range where a potential discharge could knock it out. So if the opponent gets the knockout here, I'm kind of cooked, and that sucks. But they do have a shield left, so I'm going to have to try and get it with this Mud Bomb. I would like to think that they're probably going to go ahead and shield this up since they're, you know, Toxapex is not having a good time in the back. I'm going to go for the discharge here, but I also realize I need energy in order to be able to get to another move before they can. So I actually undercharge this, and perfectly, to be honest. And we're going to be able to eat this brine here just barely. We go live like literally on like 2 HP, and we're able to throw this discharge. The opponent did not have a move ready, so this discharge, if it's enough, we win the game. And the discharge knocks out the Decidueye, and that's going to be a decisive win in that game. I tried to make a dad joke. It wasn't very good, though. Amoonguss in the lead, not great, but at least the Mud Bombs are neutral. So we're going to come straight in with Dugong here. Opponent does get to a Grass Knot on 5, so they'll be able to throw before I can get to my Icy Wind. So I'm going to shield this up, save the energy for whatever comes in, and see if I can't try to do something with this. Opponent's staying in with their Amoonguss, so I'm going to throw on 3 Ice Shards because that would be, you know, still saving myself some energy in case they swap out. Because what you'll notice on these Dugong safe switches, what some opponents will do is they'll stay in, wait for you to debuff, and then swap out. So in those cases, having that extra energy is really helpful. Now, the opponent did also wait a little while to come in with their Toxapex, so I'm also considering coming in with my Unova and Stunfisk right now. But I'm just going to go ahead and stay in, let this go, and try and get a good amount of farm on my Stunfisk. The Sludge Wave is going to knock out Dugong here. It is enough damage, but this is a nasty farm down for Unova and Stunfisk, and I don't have to shield this because if I can get this much energy, I can put that Amoonguss in a really awkward spot here in this game. The opponent swaps in the Amoonguss immediately, and I'm going to throw this Mud Bomb and come right in with Abomasnow. At this point, jeez, man. I just played these games yesterday and I already forgot one of them. All right. No, we're going to go through 2 Mud Bombs, try to get the shield off the opponent here. That's what it was. Right, we had enough energy for 2 Mud Bombs, so we wanted to throw 2 Mud Bombs to get the shield. We're going to shield back in case they have Sludge Bomb, which they do. Full farm down here, and the opponent might come back in with the Toxapex, and if they do, we'll just fire off a move and get rid of it and see what they have in the back. There's the Superior. I'm expecting them to make a switch. I wait the turn to make sure they don't, and the game doesn't really register it because I'm playing on iOS, and it doesn't really do that, but opponent is going to that wasn't the opponent. Like, I thought the opponent was going to wait the turn as well, but then the game just lags for some reason, and all of that goes thrown out the window. But essentially, they tried to catch, and thanks to the lag, I didn't see it, but it is what it is, man. It's all good. Good game. And we take a 5-0 on that first set, climbing up to probably, yeah, 27-78, getting some good elo, and we're getting into the next game with a bit of a core breaker here in Quagsire. Here's the thing. Quagsire and Abomasnow leads both tick me off, and the reason why is because they both have really good super effective damage into Dugong, and they always bait when I shield. Every time. Every time. They're also going to come in with a Charge Bug. This is not so bad because the ice damage is neutral, and it adds up quite a lot in this matchup, especially because they swapped in so late. So opponent throws two volt switches, which is great timing into my Dugong here. Going for that discharge. We can go for one and then the Icy Wind. Also good timing on our part. And then I can basically just keep farming up. And the Unova Stunfisk here has really, really strong counterplay into this team so far. So what I'm going to do here, because like if I have energy, right? If the opponent comes in with a Quagsire, that's fine. If I have energy, though, I can do quite a bit of damage into this Quagsire, so I'm going to go ahead and let that happen. And if all they have is Mud Bomb, I know a Mud Bomb's not going to fully one-shot me, but I also don't really know what's in the back, so for all I know, you know, staying in with Dugong was probably the play, but I didn't feel like I was going to win Switch, and I don't want to give my opponent the opportunity to hit me with stone edges with my shields down. So we're going to be able to get rid of the Quagsire as a threat here, but the opponent has Talon Flame, and my Abomasnow is like, nah, man, get me out of here. So we just lose. Good game. Next game, we got a Gliscopod in the lead. This is pretty neutral-ish. We both have super effective charge moves. I have the super effective fast moves. We're going to go for the discharge right away here to try and get that early shield off the opponent. But since they farmed up to a liquidation, I will shield right back. I don't really want to shield this, to be honest, but if I don't shield the liquidation, then they can just start throwing X Scissors, which is really uncomfortable. Now, the opponent has swapped in a Kingdra, and this is how you handle Kingdras with this team. I go for a move on Stunfisk, and then I go for the swap into Abomasnow and go for the Weather Ball immediately. You just want to be able to get to this Weather Ball before the opponent can get to an Outrage or an Octazooka, and this really sets up Abomasnow quite nicely here. I'm going to shield here because it's probably an Outrage, and if it's an Octazooka, then, I mean, I guess, but we now know that there, because Octazooka is, I believe, is it 18? I think it's 18 Dragon Breaths, so you should be able to, with that, knowing, go look it up on PV Poker or Pokemoves or something, to figure out exactly what that is, but the Energy Ball hits just hard enough to knock out, and the opponent's got a Gastrodon in the back, and buddy, oh, I got my button ready. We're going to play it twice because that Gliscopod got boomed as well, man. Ooh, love it. Abomasnow's a really strong sweeper in this meta, by the way. Just saying. All right, here we go with an Abomasnow lead. So the opponent now is going to stay, they're going to swap out into a Unova Stunfisk. So they seem like they're playing an inverse version of the team that we're playing here, which honestly, the Unova Stunfisk and Abomasnow core is just really broken in this cup. It's really strong as long as it doesn't get hit with terrible alignment, which thankfully I seem to avoid for the most part. Dugong into Stunfisk is not great, but if you shield the first discharge, you can, and you land an Icy Wind, you can just farm this down, but you're going to have to give up a second shield, I believe, in order to do so. So I like to go for this Icy Wind here just to be able to force them to go for the shield or give me the farm down. I can let this go, but because they have an Abomasnow in the lead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shield to force them to essentially have to throw an Energy Ball in order to knock out my Dugong. So I go down all shields here, but the opponent can never farm down my Abomasnow, or can never farm me down with their Abomasnow. So this is a really good opportunity for us to possibly set up and force that energy off the Abomasnow. Unfortunately, their shield is still intact, but we can come in with our Abomasnow here, and we are able to tank one move from them, especially because they're debuffed. We can just go for Weather Ball at this point to be able to take them out. We will live any one move, and we get to 2 moves before, at the same time as they do, unless they're running Icy Wind. So opponent's going to throw a charge move here. We live this. It's all good. Now, if the opponent's got Icy Wind, which it looks like they do, we just go for this Weather Ball. I'm going to go right away because I don't want to like give them the opportunity to catch the Weather Ball, and they're going to take them out. And in the back, they are going to have a Kingdra. We're going to go and store the Weather Ball because we're debuffed, right? We got the Icy Wind debuff. I'm going to come in with my Unova Stunfisk. Opponent throws Octazooka here most likely because it is super effective, although the Outrage would do significantly more, but we do get debuffed, which kind of sucks. I'm going to go up to 2 discharges and throw them back to back here, hoping to see how much damage. If it does a little bit more than half of what they have left, I'll just throw them. but it leaves them with just a teensy bit of HP, so I'm going to have to go for some Thunder Shocks as well. See how much they have left after this discharge. They are not gone. I don't see the little research thing pop up, so they have 1 HP. We go for the Thunder Shock and take the game. Well played. Now, Gastrodon leads suck, but we go right to Dugong anyway. Even though Dugong still loses charge attack priority here, I can either go for the Icy Wind, but I decide not to in this case. I figure in this case what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for the shield on the Earth Power and then just go ahead and apply this debuff to whatever comes in. Now, what I should have done here was go for one Ice Shard and then the Icy Wind, and then gone for after this, because good timing into Talonflame is 3 Ice Shards into the Icy Wind. So I should have done the opposite of what I just did. I should have gone for 1 and then 1, 2, 3. That would have also prevented me from going over 100 energy like I just did. Now, because they've taken so long and they've been debuffed twice, I am going to just go ahead and bring in my Stunfisk and start zapping this thing. And they're going to go and have to dump all their energy just to get out of this matchup. I'm taking absolutely nothing from these flying type charge moves because of the debuff and the resistance. Opponent's going to come back in with the Gastrodon, but they've already thrown 2 charge moves since Unova Stunfisk has come back in. So our switch clock is going to come back up pretty soon. I'm going to let this go regardless. This is an extremely fun, good farm down. It's going to be a lot of fun with Abomasnow. This farm down is great. I have to remember that there is the Talonflame in the back. I'm going to CMP tie them on 4, which is what I would expect to be a body slam, so I don't have to take any extra damage. And then as soon as I see the Talonflame come back in, I'm going to go straight back to my Dugong here. The opponent just threw pretty much all of their energy, so I am pretty good. But they have a Tentacruel in the back, and now things are not looking so great. If the opponent lets this go, I have a chance, but if they do head shield this, I don't think I can get through a Tentacruel with that much HP. It's fine. No. See, what I should have done was not swapped in. See, that's me not knowing the team, but I should have just let the Unovan Stunfisk sit in the back because the opponent was not going to have a good time in the back with that. So if I had just not swapped out and let Abomasnow, do its thing, and then Stunfisk would have been able to take care of the Tentacruel at some point. So that was a little bit of, it took me a couple sets to learn the team, and once we learned it, though, it seemed like the Matrix was coming out and clicking. I could see it, and everything was great. I'm gonna let this move go. I think we can even farm. We can almost farm down. Like I try to keep an eye on this. Like I can almost farm down, and I don't think I can. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the Icy Wind here. See if I can't get a shield back from them. But they decide not to shield. So we're down a shield, but in comes the Whimsicott. Whimsicott is gonna have to throw a move here, but they throw the Seed Bomb right away. And this presents me with an interesting opportunity, right? So I'm actually going to go ahead and shield a second time, and I'm going to go for this Icy Wind, and I'm going to try to force them to throw another move here. And they actually go into their Shadow Palkia, which they had in the back. Abomasnow comes in right away. It can get to 2 Weather Balls before they can fully farm down, so they're going to have to throw an Aqua Tail and shield up here. But here's the nice thing as well, is that them being forced to throw here also allows us to get the Stunfisk out away from the Whimsicott. Now, Dugong is basically out of move here, so very important to remember. So what I need to do here is I just need to try and get Dugong onto this thing, or onto the Whimsicott without any energy. So I'm hoping that the switch clock will be up, which it is, and I don't swap in right away. I actually was going to see if I could get them into a range where a couple of discharges could knock out or something, but because I couldn't remember exactly how much energy I had on Dugong. So I got them to throw, which was the key thing that won me this game, and Icy Wind is going to knock out the Whimsicott. And despite being pretty much hard countered in a couple of places, we were able to take it. Good game. And that's going to be the second set. So I did play 3 sets for the video, because usually when I feature like a really strong team like this, I'd like try to get to 3 sets. I know the video's a little bit longer, but it also kind of gives you guys a little bit more to digest and look at. In the for alligator leads, what I'll do is I'll throw 5 Thunder Shocks and swap to Dugong. Opponent's going to come in with their Morpeko, and I'm going to get deleted, dude. I'm gonna get absolutely deleted. Not worth the shield ever. Like, Morpeko is just not worth the shield because you can always just shield the Stunfisk instead. And Stunfisk is still gonna have play into that for alligator. I just need to get some energy off here. So we're gonna go for the Mud Bomb. I would like to get rid of it. We are ahead of the thing. The key thing to remember here is that the for alligator left right away. They did not decide to bank energy and then swap out, which is what I would have probably done if I were in their shoes, is just bank that move back up at least. That way we can go ahead and I mean, I guess with a more Pekko in the back, it's not so easy to do that. But when they're in electric mode, again, I never have to shield because the Aura Wheel won't do enough. And if they're running Psychic Fangs, then it's not going to do that much damage. We're just going to go ahead and throw this Mud Bomb right. I don't want to throw it right away, but I kind of have to. But now we're going to get to kind of see what's in the back if they don't bring in that Gator. So they come in with Credilli, and I'm going to be able to come in with my Abomasnow. We have a shield advantage for it. I can go for the Energy Ball. They did not farm up to a Crunch or Ice Beam. I can let this go because it's a resisted Hydro Cannon. And then what I need to do is I'm going to go for the Energy Ball. Just going to take this thing out, and I'm going to save the shield for just to deal with that Credilli. Now, the problem with the Credilli, though, is that I need 2 Weather Balls to get the knockout, and they basically have enough energy almost for 2 Rock Slides. Because of that Bullet Seed that they got at the beginning, they're going to be able to outpace me to that second move. So what I'm going to look to do here is I'm actually going to look to try to make a catch. I'm going to go for this Weather Ball, knock him down, and go for one, and then the catch. I was just thinking, regardless of what happens here, I'm forcing the energy out, and then they're just going to be one Powder Snow away from being knocked out. But catching the energy was also really nice here, and that won us the game as well. So good game. Next game up against fellow content creator over on Twitch. I believe he streams regularly. Mr. Wholesome himself, he's also a Play Pokemon commentator, has a hard counter lead for us here with the Abomasnow, and he's going to stay in and throw the move. Now, I got to shield this because it could potentially be an Energy Ball, but of course, it's a Weather Ball, and I'm telling y'all, I'm never going to shield these again. Comes in with a Toxapex here, and we have a lot of energy, so we can potentially dump it all into the Toxapex, and he's going to go ahead and shield right back here. So what this tells me is that he's looking to make a play for switch advantage and try and keep that Stunfisk of mine locked onto his Abomasnow, which is the correct play. Honestly, the Toxapex is so bulky that it really very likely wins him switch advantage here. Anyway, we're going to be able to get up to another Drill Run. I don't need the shield here. What I'm really going to try to do at this point is see if I can't leverage my Abomasnow to win this game. I'm just going to hope that in the back, maybe he doesn't have another Abomasnow answer, and so maybe we can do something with that. But we are going to also be able to make a last-second Drill Run, so we do get shield advantage here. And this is the point where I make a critical mistake in that I've got it so far in my head that I need to get Abomasnow some energy that I bring it into a loaded Toxapex, force myself to shield this. If I had just let the Toxapex take me out, I think I could have made it happen with a shield advantage. I think we could have made it work. So Energy Ball going to do a lot of damage here, but it's not going to be enough. I don't have a shield, unfortunately, and he's going to have the Aerial Ace, the X-Scissor. Either one of these from this range will probably knock out. So Aerial Ace is going to do the job. And then unfortunately, you know, when Stunfisk just is not going to be able to cut it against an Abomasnow. So I don't know if I would have won that game because Golisopod is pretty darn good into Abomasnow, but all shields down, there's a potential chance that we could have made something happen. I just know that that was probably the worst mistake I could have made, was hard swapping into Abomasnow at that point in time. So, I mean, good game. Well played, either way. Next game up, we got an Alolan Marowak. It's not Shadow, and we have Unova and Stunfisk with Mud Bomb, so this is overall a pretty positive matchup, but we're both hitting each other for neutral with fast moves, and the charge moves are going to be super effective, as they also have Bone Club to hit us for super effective. But our Mud Bombs are going to be able to two-shot, whereas they would need, I believe, two. It's either 2 Bone Club. I can always eat 1 Bone Club, basically. And possibly a second one, depending. Yeah, we can probably eat a second one. We basically get the shields first here in this matchup, is what I'm trying to get at. So by getting shields first, we can kind of be in the driver's seat with this matchup, because we do pretty much outpace here as getting 2 Mud Bombs every 10 and 8 turns respectively, alternating, whereas they get to their Bone Clubs in 12 and 9. Now they make a sick catch here. They go into a Gyarados here, and I'm like, okay, that's why they weren't swapping out. So I'm going to go for this Discharge, and I'm like, well, you're either going to give me your final shield, or I'm going to delete your Gyarados off the face of the earth. So Discharge is going to get shielded. We're going to come in with a Abomasnow, because that'll force them to farm higher and go for the Crunch. But now I'm going to be able to shield up this, regardless of whether it's Aqua Tail or not. I'm not looking to make that call, because the Abomasnow can hit the Alolan Marowak hard enough with an Energy Ball to knock it out from the HP range it's at. I probably could have even knocked it out with a Weather Ball at this point, but I wanted to play it safe here, throw the Energy Ball, get rid of this thing, and the opponent has the Kingdra in the back. I was thinking about going for that Energy Ball, but really I don't think I'm going to be able to get there. So we're going to go for the Weather Ball, and then I'm going to have to go down. I can't swap out yet, unfortunately, so Dugong's going to have to come in here. And here's the thing, I don't know how much the Shadow Outrage is going to do, but we're going to get to this Icy Wind. I go to try and make a catch, but the opponent throws with very nice timing here. not allowing me to make that catch. The Outrage almost knocks out, but Dugong with those good IVs is going to hang on and go for the Icy Wind and take the win for us here and get rid of that Kingdra. Well played to the opponent. Next battle up here, we're going to have Stunfisk against a Jumpluff. Got to get out of this. I don't like this matchup as much. We have 2 ice types in the back, which is much better for us. So opponent's going to swap into their Azumarill here, and I'll go for the Icy Wind actually right away because that's going to help the Play Roughs hit just a little less hard. And I actually learned this from, I believe, Homeslice Henry highlighted in one of his videos where he was using Dugong, where in this matchup, if you hit them with an Icy Wind and then start going for drill runs, the Play Roughs don't quite knock out and they have to throw an extra one. So I believe instead of 2 Play Roughs and the bubbles doing enough, now they have to throw 3 Play Roughs solid, which allows us to win in the 0 shield scenario, I believe. So we are going to continue to play this out. Abomasnow. Azumarill. It's what it's called. We're going to go up to get to back-to-back drill runs here because I know that they need 6 for their next Play Rough, which means that we're going to be able to get to this drill run. And my Dugong typically wins CMP over Azumarill. I don't know if it's a landslide win, but regardless, we're going to be able to win CMP here and force a shield or force the opponent to let switch advantage go, which is really nice for us here. And they have a Gastrodon in the back, so this is exactly what I didn't want to see, because Abomasnow basically has to win this whole game for us now. So we're gonna we're just gonna go ahead and put everything we have into our Abomasnow, and I'm just gonna see if I can't get some sick shield calls or something. But essentially, we're just looking to go for as much damage as we can here. I'll eat 1 Body Slam because it would do less than an Earth Power. I shielded up the first one because I did not want them to hit me with an Earth Power because that would put me really low. I have to save 1 shield though to deal with the Jumpluff. And unfortunately, they do end up calling the Energy Ball, and they go ahead and shield it. And I was thinking maybe I don't go for an Energy Ball, but I'm like, just in case they don't shield, I'd rather. But now we're going to go ahead and catch the Body Slam on our Stunfisk, and we're down in the 1 shields here with Unova and Stunfisk throwing off these discharges. The opponent does need at least 2 Energy Balls here. I believe it's cleanly 2 Energy Balls from this range especially. But we're going to be able to get to at least a couple more discharges, which is going to be really nice. And hopefully saving the shield for Abomasnow in this case will allow us to just farm down the rest of the team with fast moves and not necessarily be needing any charge moves. It's going to come down to whether or not the opponent can save the energy they need, but it looks like they're going to have to throw right away because they would have been forced to go ahead and shield that if they had let it go. But now we're just in a spot where Abomasnow can just use fast moves, and that's exactly what I was looking for in this game. So Abomasnow does shield up Energy Ball. Looks like they may have been on Acrobatics, so we get 2 more Powder Snows in against the Gastrodon, and we're going to be able to take that game as well. Very well played to the opponent. Do not disrespect the Snowman. Don't do it. Toxapex in the next game. Beautiful lead to finish up this set here, and the opponent comes in with a Kingdra, and once again, I'm going to do this. So I'm going to break down the math for y'all so you know why I made this play. Discharge would do more damage than a Mud Bomb, so I'm going to throw it in case they decide not to shield it. Then I immediately come in with Abomasnow and not Dugong, and the reason why is because it takes them 21 Dragon Breaths to get to the Outrage. They're not going to throw an Octazooka here. It would be silly. So because it takes 10 turns to get to discharge, 10 turns to get to the Weather Ball, and it takes them 21 Dragon Breaths. We're able to fit in to the 2 charge moves, and also because we get 0 turn switch because of the fact that we threw after a charge move, we're able to cleanly get there before they can get to the Outrage, and I can shield this knowing it's an Outrage. So that's fine. And then again, just like earlier, we can go ahead and let Abomasnow get an Energy Ball off here, maybe 2 if we can possibly get there. It usually doesn't work out that way. So I'm just going to go for as much energy as I can. I probably could have thrown one earlier and gone for an Energy Ball plus a Weather Ball, but in the end of the day, this is going to put it down in about discharge range with the Thunder Shocks anyway. Opponent has a Credillia in the back, so now I kind of have to play a little bit carefully because they do have the super effective charge move damage to be able to hit me with these Rock Slides and the Grass Knot that it has. So I'm going to go and shield the first move since I have to take at least 1 or 2 moves here, and I would rather take a debuffed move. So Icy Wind is going to get the shield, but the nice thing here is that the Icy Wind from us will knock out, whereas the opponents will not. So they're going to go for the Grass Knot here, which is going to allow me to have some grace knowing that they're not at 2 moves. So we're just going to go ahead and go for this Icy Wind, and then swap right into the Stunfisk in case they try to throw a Rock Slide. The opponent instant switches as well, and they're going to bring in that Toxapex. to which we can just go ahead and farm up. I'm going to farm up the 2 moves here, almost. No, not this time. Okay. But in hindsight, what I should have done was farm up the 2 moves, but I was getting very close to being hit with a brine, and I wasn't sure if I could or not, but it looks like the opponent gets there anyway. Can Stunfisk hang on and get rid of this thing? It can with 1 HP. We go down and simultaneous knockout, but they're not at a charge move. Dugong's going to come in and cleanly get that Ice Shard off to knock out the Credilli and take us up a nice 4-1. So really positive day with this team. I can highly recommend it if you're looking for a last-minute team to try and climb within this Color Cup meta before all 3 open leagues come back tomorrow. Really highly recommend this team. Thank you all very much, as always, for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps the channel get some growth, helps us find more of an audience to be able to share things with and have some fun. And also, we stream 3 times a week: Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you're unfortunately you're unable to catch the action live, you can always go check out the recordings, but the live streams are always fun. So I hope to see you guys there, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you as always. Bye bye.